we go one, we go all for QAnon and fam. President Trump is planning on carrying out mass arrest of deep state traitors. In the last year, we've heard all about this. Trust the plan, logical thinking, follow the connections. We have it all. Sit back and enjoy this year in review of QAnon, the Great Awakening. So some of these deep state arrests include Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, James Comey, and even all the way up to like Barack Obama. Plenty of more. Too many names to list here, but you get the gifs. I, for one, am fully supportive of this effort to save America and arrest every last one of these traitors, try them for treason, lock them up in Gitmo, and some will get the death penalty. I mean, what else did they expect, right? Ah, justice. The confirmation of Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court was key to getting this done in a timely manner, which explains why the deranged left is going to such outrageous extremes to fabricate false allegations against Kavanaugh and stage coordinated, well-funded protests to try to block the U.S. Senate from confirming him. Now that Kavanaugh is in the court, it will add the necessary support for constitutional emergency powers that concentrate power in the executive branch of government, currently headed by no other than President Trump, during times of war and national emergencies. Fact, the United States has been operating under a state of declared war since September 11th, 2001, following the terrorist attacks in New York and on the Pentagon and Pennsylvania. Another interesting fact, the United States has been operating under a declared national emergency signed by President Trump ever since December 21st of 2017. He signed the executive order blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. There is a plan to issue mass arrest of the deep state traitors, then try them for treason under military tribunals. This is justified and lawful because the acts being committed against the United States of America by the deep state traitors are acts of treason during a time of declared war. It is no coincidence that President Trump has deliberately funded the U.S. Pentagon with its most massive budget ever conceived. This is because the Pentagon has agreed to run the military arrest of the deep state traitors under the direction of the Commander-in-Chief, or President Trump. President Trump, I believe, has decided to go to bat for America and utterly destroy the anti-American deep state crime ring that has been working for years to destroy this nation and end its national sovereignty. This will be Trump's legacy. He may not even run for re-election after 2020, since his entire plan to arrest the traitors and restore the rule of law in America will require him to step aside once certain goals are accomplished. Now, in order for Trump to accomplish this, he will need to declare temporary martial law. He will need our support during this time to maintain order and civility across the nation as the arrest and trials of the deep state traitors are underway. We should all expect mass violence and chaos from the left, which is following the rules for radicals, a blueprint for communist revolts and violent overthrow attempts of government.
Are you talking to the president? You ain't supporting shit, nigga.
Make that hat great again and burn it right in the trash.
Boards fight in the streets.
the entire Trump vote was racist and by racists?
I think yes.
I'm not going to.
That's a Nazi.
I'm not a Nazi. What are you doing, man? Hey.
Blocking the property of persons involved in serious human rights abuse or corruption. This document specifically describes the crimes of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, James Comey, Robert Mueller, under the corruption section, alluding to the Uranium One scandal and Obama's multi-billion-dollar laundering operation that handed over nuclear weapons capabilities to Iran. It says the executive order targets any foreign person determined by the Secretary of Treasury in consultation with the Secretary of State and the Attorney General to be a current or former government official or a person acting for or on behalf of such an official who is responsible for or complicit in or has directly or indirectly engaged in corruption, including the misappropriation of state assets, the exportation of private assets for personal gain, corruption related to government contracts, or the extraction of natural resources, or bribery, etc. This describes precisely what Clinton, Comey, Mueller, Obama, Brennan, McCabe, and others carried out under the Obama regime. These are more than just felony federal crimes. They are acts of treason against the United States of America. From this document, here is President Trump's declared national emergency. I therefore determine that serious human rights abuse and corruption around the world constitute an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, and economy of the United States. And I hereby declare a national emergency to deal with that threat. Now, the next document we're going to go over here is Executive Order 13618, signed July 6, 2012 by President Barack Obama. Assignment of National Security and Emergency Preparedness Communications Function. This executive order grants the president absolute control over all U.S. media, including internet tech giants, social media, news networks, and news websites. It specifically names, communications that support continuity of government, federal, state, local, territorial, and tribal emergency preparedness and response communications, non-military executive branch communication systems, critical infrastructure, protection network, and non-military communications network, particularly with respect to prioritization and restoration. Now, this next document is very important. It's Executive Order 13825, signed March 1st of 2018. It's a 2018 amendments to the Manual for Courts Martial, United States, UCMJ. Although much more difficult to read, this document essentially establishes the preservation of the government's right to prosecute crimes of treason and deep state collusion against America, all of which may be prosecuted via military tribunals under existing U.S. law. This would allow deep state traitors to be arrested by military police and subjected to military trials run by the Pentagon, completely bypassing the corrupt court system, which has been deliberately stacked with complicit deep state traitors and resistance judges. For the record, I wholly support this effort to arrest and prosecute the thousands of deep state traitors who have become a cancer. Were you aware that James Comey was a communist? How about John Brennan? Of course, he's remained a communist for his whole entire adult life. And Barack Obama was a radical Muslim who despised America and worked every day to undermine it through a variety of nefarious means, including allowing U.S. military encryption technology to be captured by Iran via the U.S. drone GPS spoofing incident. For starters, Barack Obama personally authorized the illegal Spygate spying on Trump campaign officials. Barack Obama also allowed China to hack 21 million U.S. military personal records, effectively dumping the entire U.S. Pentagon database into the hands of a communist China. We'll go into a more detailed explanation later of Obama's treasonous crimes against America. So, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, John Brennan, Andrew McCabe, Loretta Lynch, Peter Strzok, and a long list of other traitors have been conspiring for years to destroy America from within and see it replaced with a communist regime run by authoritarian globalists. Tech giants like Apple, Google, and Facebook, they're all part of the plan, which is exactly why you see every one of them working closely with China to roll out an authoritarian techno-tranny infrastructure system that plans to enslave every citizen of the world, making them powerless and obedient to a global technocracy that runs the one world government. Trump's plan to rescue America from the globalists will require temporary martial law. In order to halt this global dictatorship and defend America against traitors who are working to destroy it, President Trump must carry out the following actions. He's got to achieve the release of declassified, unredacted deep state documents from within the FBI and the DOJ that will reveal to everyone the full extent of the deep state treason against America. The FBI and DOJ are currently slow playing this effort to release anything, furthering their treason against America and proving they have a lot to hide. Pelosi, Schumer, Schiff, Warner, they've all already committed acts of treason in calling on the FBI and the DOJ to defy that presidential order to release. 2. Invoke the national emergency powers, which are constitutionally granted to the executive branch of government. Technically, this has already happened back in 2017. 3. Invoke President Obama's Executive Order 13618 and seize control of Google, Facebook, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, etc., so on, so forth, to halt all the treasonous lies, the coordinated election frauds, and the political coup, an attempt at which is being run by all these traitors of America. 4. Use all controlled communication channels to publicly declare the details of the crimes and the criminal actors which have been committed against America. Disclose everything to the American people about how their country had been overrun and destroyed from within. 5. Order military police to find and arrest thousands of the deep state traitors who have been deliberately undermining America from within. This will include hundreds of people from within inside the FBI, DOJ, plus hundreds more in the State Department and other agencies. Arrest must also include traitorous, corrupt federal judges who have been deliberately undermined and undermining America by, well, for example, blocking Trump's constitutional travel ban to protect America from enemy terrorists. Many traitors will attempt to flee the country. Of course, and they will need to be located and brought to justice like former Nazi war criminals. Round them all up, try them all for treason, and Gitmo or death penalty. That's the only option. 6. Issue an executive order demanding national voter ID for all future elections. No longer will America tolerate democracy being stolen by the votes of illegals, people who have entered this country illegally, who are granted voting rights by California and other complicit anti-America sanctuary cities and states. 7. Suspend elections during the military tribunals, but lay out a timeline for the restoration of elections and nationwide voting, with voter ID in place to restore the rule of law and give America back to the American people. 8. Deploy the U.S. military along the southern border. Use the Army Corps of Engineers to build the wall. And number 9, promise to resign the presidency once the rule of law is restored in America, signaling to the American people that Trump plans to hand over power to the next elected president within a reasonable time period. Americans will rightly be concerned about the martial law morphing into a military dictatorship. Trump needs to assure the American people that his job is to destroy the deep state, restore the rule of law, then get out of the way and retire as the greatest U.S. president in history. The president who saved America from the traitors and the communists. The American people will not tolerate a permanent military dictatorship in America, but they will tolerate temporary martial law that is needed to drain the swamp, arrest the traitors, and restore the rule of law. That's why this was put into our Constitution as a last resort. During this time, by the way, the entire FBI, CIA, DOJ, and other three-letter alphabetic agencies will need to be disbanded and rebuilt from scratch. The agency's credibilities have been utterly destroyed by the actions of James Comey, Peter Strzok, Hillary Clinton, and others. Remember, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where men were free. You and I have the courage to say to our enemies, there is a price we will not pay. There is a point beyond which they must not advance. We will preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness. Ronald Reagan. I'm Mike. This is a Patriot Hour. God bless. Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all. All right, welcome to the Patriot Hour. Got Ben here in the studio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Super excited to be in here. We're going to try a little round 2 of this live action.
A little round 2. All right, yeah, had some technical difficulties. We are up and running. How is everybody doing this evening? Take a few minutes here for some live chat.
All right. Doesn't really see. Let me do a little refresh
All right,
here.
everything here.
My
Excited.
machine.
Got some big news. Hannity said some big deep state stuff will go down on Tuesday. I saw that myself.
Yes, it was crazy.
All right,
Big
let me.
news also with Kavanaugh. So excited, man. The linchpin, folks. Who we were telling you. Once Supreme Court Justice Kavanaugh becomes officially nominated and everything's rolling in, it's the linchpin. So
That's right. All right,
very excited.
Any new cue? I think we had one to go over. Looks like a couple are out here. Just this one, huh? So court ordered Google to preserve all data sent. Court order to preserve all data sent to Google. Think Google Plus / Gmail, etc. Comms cleanup, the more you know. So Google hid user data breach from the public out of fear Congress would take some action. Interesting.
Open on the main screen to have everybody see it, or is something we already went
No,
over
I was just
again?
reading.
You're just
I was just reading it to the
nothing real
people, see
new.
what they thought about it.
Yeah, what do you guys think about trying to cover its tracks, not say anything, hide information to the public that could be huge, and yet nothing? Freaking out here? What's going on here? What we're on right now is a part of the Google umbrella. YouTube. This is part of this. Google hid user data breach from public out of fear Congress would take action. Out of fear.
Yeah.
Of course, a very, very well justified fear.
So what?
That's
We
right.
had Google failed to inform its users about the exposure of their private data for fear of the news inviting regulation and comparisons to Facebook's Cambridge Analytical story scandal, according to the Wall Street Journal. The Wall Street Journal.
Jeez.
Google exposed the private data of hundreds of thousands of users of the Google Plus social network and then opted not to disclose the issue this past spring, in part because of its fears that doing so would draw regulatory scrutiny. So did they admit to this? I was like, well, why didn't you tell anybody? Well, we kind of heard Facebook was in the news and, we didn't want to
We
go through
heard
that.
that they were really looking at all these people and how all of us are lying to everybody and selling your data.
So it's
we
like-
didn't want to be a part of that as well because we
Think
knew
about
we were
that.
doing
What about
it.
if their employees were working there and stole a bunch of stuff and they want to prosecute? And it's like, well, why don't you tell us about your little thievery problem you had there, Johnny? Well, I thought you guys wouldn't hire me if I told you about how I stole all the time. Of course we wouldn't hire you.
Of course, he wouldn't hire you. That would be called a liability, and when it delves into hundreds of thousands of people's information, that is a public liability. I.e., this is where we've been trying to tell you guys: national security. Be ready for the 10 days of darkness. This is the kind of stuff that we've been trying to, push out to you. That these public platforms that have deceived you with their terms and conditions and have taken your information, sold it, piecemealed it, and opened up their back doors to be quote unquote breached or hacked and get this offload. Who knows what's really truly happening, but we do know it's coming. And
well,
they're
somebody
going
wrote,
down.
it's a good question too. I'm going back up a little bit. I heard, did I read right? Let me see where I saw that. Somebody said that too. Did I read right? They're shutting down Google Plus. Yeah, I read that as well earlier, and I'm not sure where I read it, but I did read an article.
Pale Theus said, yeah, Google Plus is going away. I'm like, yeah, they gave the data away on purpose. You think? Jay Isboard says, who still uses Google Plus? Well, you'd be surprised. Google Plus just may be the main banner. You may not be able to use their premium services, but like Microsoft platforms, they have their octopus and they spider web and their tentacles in many, many different platforms, because just like YouTube, or let's say your Gmail, you can send out to all their different sections of the Google umbrella, and Google Plus is just a part of that. So just because your name is not attached to the actual Google Plus premium account and you may not use all their premium little tidbit and functions, the fact if you have a Gmail account, Mike and I are using YouTube, that has nothing to do with Google Plus other than it's under the same umbrella that Google owns all these companies, and it's all it's think about it as a one giant data collection agency, and they have all these different sources that they're collecting your information and what they're doing. And this is another reason why YouTube is so inviting, because it's a huge platform to be able to do multiple different things, get a lot of truth out with, shadow banning and things of this nature. But that being said, you're having to give up a lot of your information, and so different facets of the evil umbrella, if you will, are kind of being exposed, and Google Plus is just one of these little facets. Who knows how much else of Google is going to be coming down?
Exactly. This is huge, folks. It's this article is going into what is it talking about? Yeah, so I guess here in the story it says the story here isn't really the potential data breach, which may affected hundreds of thousands, or that Google is shutting down Google Plus. It is that Google's execs knowingly avoided disclosing an issue because they knew it invite government scrutiny and bad PR. So that's the bottom line.
It hit their dollar bottom line. It hit their stock. It hit everything. They would be losing money on the PR and the marketing, because just like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, Google is a brand. It's a way of life. It's exactly so.
Yeah, they're taking a look at regulating. They said that a survey they took revealed that a majority of the American population is for regulation of big tech companies like Google. They've gotten so big. And then stuff like this, they don't quite know how to handle. They don't quite put enough money towards storing everybody's stuff. It's almost like everybody gave them all this personal information, and they kind of asked for it, but yet it got shoved at them. They don't hold it right. It gets violated by hackers, and then to save their name, they kind of hide that. And then, I'm not for huge government regulation into everything either, but I don't know. Sometimes these big techs, how often do they operate in these realms for the dollar? And that's all that matters. Because by exposing that, they would have took a loss in the pocketbook. Their shares would have been let's put it this way. It was an angle they didn't want to go down, and they didn't. And that is a fact.
That is a fact, yes. And then you have the whole deception aspect. So then you have trust and all this kind of stuff. And the bottom line, like what Mike was telling you guys, is what's happening here is these agencies, and it goes up to the very, very top, are being exposed systematically, one by one, organically. If all this came out all at once, we all would have our type stuff. it'd be crazy. We already have the popcorn. We're already watching a movie. It's like the crescendo. This is like the main action sequence of the movie where everything is hitting and going down and getting crazy. And it's like, so it is very interesting. Don't be fooled by what the media is going to be doing, because we know, and we've talked about this before, we have less than a little over 30 days or so for the midterms. Now we know the 10 days of darkness, hypothetically, as our hypothesis, most likely, logically, it'd probably be before the midterm elections, because that's when the biggest disinformation leading up to the midterm elections, because they don't want the quote-unquote red wave to hit on the midterms and have a bunch of Republicans voted into the positions, and now we hold sway in the majority of the federal government branches, and on top of so this is pretty paramount. So it'd be interesting to see what definitely happens coming up in this next month. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, what do you guys think about the Huber investigations that are going on behind the scenes and what he's going to be coming out with? I mean, even though it's behind the scenes, he's still got IG reports similar to the IG that we got over the Trump-Russia collusion. Or
yes,
was that the one that we got? It didn't go into all of Hillary's crimes, but it named the little children crimes or crimes against children.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So we are still looking at the Hillary server IG. We're going to be seeing the Uranium One IG. We're going to be seeing a Clinton Foundation IG. I think we're still expecting 3 or 4 IG reports.
What about the Epstein and Epstein Island, that kind of stuff? Is that going to be a part of any of maybe the Clinton Foundation stuff? Because that had something to do with the island. We know that the island was closed down, and we got pictures, and it was so we don't. That could be that coming up, and which IG report that's going to be introduced into or to us, we don't know either exactly.
The declass needs to happen sooner for the red wave to be effective. Well, I'm sure this whole thing's been planned down to every little minuscule release, and it's all timing. I think they got it down. I think they know the mass, the biggest wave, or how to not miss out like on certain things that you can think of. They've thought of. Pfizer release tomorrow. See,
I was just gonna say that. There you go, Kevin.
This is all timing now. I think we got Kavanaugh in. Now it's going to be boom, boom. This is a big boom week, folks.
Huge Moabs, I should say, almost.
Yeah, I think, we got a Uranium One IG coming, Clinton Foundation, the pay-to-play. For sure, that's exactly what's coming out next. See, we allowed all these investigations. Trump allowed investigations into him and let them linger on even. Let them linger on. And now there's not going to be any excuses from the public if you want to take that and go back outward with it to the people that, did all this to you. So now if we're like, well, we want to investigate Bill Clinton for his crimes. Well, come on, that's 1993. And it's like, well, we got Kavanaugh in 82. Well, he was running for court. Well, Bill Clinton walks around as ex-president and goes around other countries speaking for 500,000. Maybe if people knew some of his crimes, they wouldn't do that. So we're no longer are we going to stand for this hypocrisy BS. We can't. That's the whole point, folks. Doesn't take, the people can do more than, Trump or an individual. The masses really can bend things. Me and Ben were reading an article earlier, like the 10% thing of a population, which is very interesting. It's all it ever takes, folks.
For an idea to systematically take control of the entire population, all you need is a core 10% with an idea, and then from there, that 10% will systematically, again, that idea will take hold.
If you look at the history books for like the Revolutionary War, they only needed like 10% of the people to understand, be on board, know the message, and then when things happened and key people were doing things, action, you had people that knew were able to spread. We get this 10 days of darkness. Me and Ben were looking at the numbers of, I think Q told us last, 50 million reached. Now, looking at my own numbers, our analytic numbers on YouTube here, we see that 90% is watched from within the U.S. All right, you guys.
Yes.
The USA, we do have 10%, sprinkled over the pond, UK, Australia. We love you guys. You guys are awoke.
Yes,
you guys are awake. You're patriots. But typically, our channel is getting a lot of watch time out of the U.S., so we don't know this number of 50 million, not 50 million worldwide, 7 billion. It's fractions of number.
Yeah, you're talking a minute
50 million in the United States is what? I mean,
That's different. I mean,
we have 320 million.
yeah. Can anybody real quickly tell me what is the United States population? Here,
I'm going to say
let's see what they got here.
325 mil, maybe 330 mil.
375, yeah.
But I'm going to say like 320. Last I looked, it was 320 something.
We'll see what we'll see what you guys tell us here, because we'll tell you the numbers, how much it's going to take in America.
325-ish.
325-ish. Yeah, okay, 320. So it's going to take in America at least 32 million people. 32 million people. I mean, solid, like you guys all here right now, solid patriots, really understanding what's happening. 32 million. And what did Q say? Is it, we don't know if it's 50 million, like across the earth, or 50 million in here at home in America, or the United States. So I mean, it's interesting. So we know that there's a lot of us, and you can't stop it. Once it gets to a certain point, if power to the people is so great, and we say, oh, power to the people, but honestly, we haven't had that for how long? I mean, it's been, we would probably say 100 years or so.
You guys are getting the big picture. The video I did last night breaks this down. Trump beat the system. Trump was selected in their own system. We voted in. We still have a say. People are, the election's being rigged or not, we still have the free will of the people. They like to experiment with manipulation. Typically, they like to have two front runners up there, Democrat, Republican, that are already part of the system. So they can't lose. We still got to pick which one of them, but we lost from the gate,
yeah.
Before we ever voted, we lost. But with Trump, it was different. He got voted in and beat them in their system, and to get out of this, it has to be done a different way. And that's why it talks about Trump relinquishing is, being done. Now, as far as him crossing over, I mean, this is how the story is going, folks. This is what we're learning. I mean, we see, like in that video last night, the executive orders that he signed. You're not just signing executive orders on human rights abuse just to do it.
Just because it feels right, like that. Your Wheaties and executive orders, and maybe tomorrow's Fruit Loops, and I'll go with the Trade Commission thing.
And it's the same thing with Barack Obama signing in the communications one. They were probably going to use that for their dark purposes, but we're going to use it for a good purpose, and
to expose that darkness.
It helps them too. They're not going to be able to. If all cell phones are down, all TVs, all media, all cell phones, those people can't operate very well either, as they're getting scooped up and arrested. They don't get to communicate with each other. They don't get to, send signals, smoke signals, so to say. They just get arrested and go down. During that same time, we'll be getting alerts from the presidential messaging, emergency messaging system, the EMB, emergency broadcast system. And I don't know what those messages will say exactly. Remain calm. There's a curfew. What kind of things that we'll hear. But
we don't know.
Like we said before, it might tell you, find your local QAnon conspiracy dealer and buy a bag of some Get Woke. So
get smacked in the face with some truth.
Yeah, get.
By the way, it was a great comment that let me read it here. Oh, I gotta find it. We were talking about. Let's see here. I gotta find it. Oh, it's a great comment. Let me see here. It had something to do with about 1900 was when. I apologize, people. It went through. It's going so much over here.
What's
trying
going
to keep
on?
up with you guys' comments. Somebody made a really great comment, and I'm trying to find it.
You're right. Trump is not a career politician. God wanted him in to save America. I truly believe that. Trump is a blessing.
I found this.
That's right.
Yeah, I
Brown
agree.
eyes rule.
Yep. God raises kings and sets them up, and he also puts them down. So I found it. Joe Wilson said, Ben, we have lost control of the government since 1900 with the invasion of the progressive movement. And I would even cap on that. And that progressive movement, it was pretty much wholly started by the Democrats, pretty much. So, yes, when we talk about that, think about this. So Trump, if it's been going on since 1900-ish, and it's 2018, you can see it's been going on for 118 plus years, even beyond that,
What did
So,
you see Joseph Barbaro comment?
let's see here. Yeah. Split that wig. That's what I'm talking about, Joseph. That's what that knowledge is going to be, splitting that wig.
Get that wig split.
Mm-hmm. So,
Get that
yeah,
wig
I was
split.
saying, definitely a good one
Get your
on
wig
Joe.
split.
Joe. Yeah, oh, yeah.
Get your wig split over here.
And so this could be what Trump is doing, and not could be. What we think it is with the Q, and all of us giving power back to the people, to where, if you look at the 14th Amendment and the 15th Amendment and the 16th Amendment, and you look at a lot of these amendments that were made that were based on freedom and this kind of stuff, you think who supported like 90 to 100% of all of these amendments every single time they went through? Republican, and 10% Democrat. Some of it were 0% Democrat. I mean, the right for us, we the people, to vote, when that, I think it's the 16th Amendment, 0 Democrats, 100% Republicans. I mean, just stop and think about that.
Exactly.
That's the fundamental values. One is pretty much a communist regime, socialistic, no borders, everybody one love type of but misconstrued that. And the other one is, hey, we do want to get along, but we also want, good fences make good neighbors, and you need to be the king of your castle, and I'm the king of my castle. Well, don't castles have moats around them so other kings don't come and take your castle type stuff?
Yes. Nancy Burkle, when do you think martial law will come into effect? We don't have a date. We don't, but I would say, and again, folks, your idea of martial law could be way obstrued from all the movies in Hollywood that you've seen.
Yes.
We were kind of talking about that. It could be a positive way. It's not coming after you, which is 99% of us. The 99% is coming after the 1%. So it's flipped.
The people we've been talking about.
It's
Yep.
totally flipped, folks. Their whole old, the 1% wanted to wipe out a good chunk of the population with their, Agenda 21. And that's getting flipped around now. There's 7 billion of us on the planet. They wanted to take it down to about 500 million or
million. Yes, the Georgia Guidestones tell us.
Yes, and now it's been flipped. The 500,000 are going down, or 100,000.
No, exactly. I mean, this is where Mike and I we bounce these ideas off one another in garage talk, and this is we were saying, I can't believe this is a huge. I'm alive in this time. This is a crazy time to be alive. This is history making. Like when
hopefully not a
when
curfew
my children,
like in Baghdad.
No,
It would be
Baghdadi
temporary, folks.
curfew.
Again, the video last night I put together, it has lots of facts. You stack up the executive orders, the ones that were written by past presidents, Trump's able to use, the couple that Trump wrote up, the amendments to the courts, UCMJ, the courts martial. There's been upgrades. There's been advancements. Trump's whole new executive order put us into a state of emergency, which is even elevating things at a different level. It's coming. There is no denying any of that stuff.
On a side note, GAM Houston, Q said 52 to 58 million tracking by NASA. That's by Q. So that's how many people are watching a Q video, texting QAnon, twittering QAnon, going through all the typical mainstream media channels for QAnon. So 52 to 58 million. So we're past the 10%, folks. So just let you know, we're there, we're rocking, it's taking over. I just wanted to throw it in.
Oh yeah, that's huge. Guessing martial law after D class. Can anyone remember what post it was where Q kind of broke down the last couple steps that we had? It was like Supreme Court justice. What was left? What was there? If anyone can remember that number, that Q post, throw it to me so I could pipe it in over here.
And
So
also
just trying to
remember,
talk a little bit
folks,
to you guys.
yeah, when we talk about martial law, this is what, again, Mike and I, Garage Talk, we're talking about. Our knee-jerk reaction from the get-go almost a year ago was like, oh, no, my gosh, it's get your lead, get your water, get your supplies ready. And, no. It is a body of law. And one of our hypotheses, I should say, is that we've already been under martial law of sorts since 9/11. And then even since earlier in 2017, when President Trump declared national emergency.
Yeah, late 2017, right
excuse me,
before
you're
earlier
right.
this year. Yeah, December 21st.
Okay, so stop and think about it, you guys. So that is probably the martial law we all fear is like over here on this spectrum. Let me do it like this, right here on this spectrum. And where we're operating is like, we're over here in this area. We're military tribunals, military operations, domestically cleaning up CEOs, traitors, treasonous people. How does the military operate domestically? Mike and I know very well, being prior military, that we operate internationally. It's not our job to police our internal citizens. The only time a military comes into play of that is like during huge, crazy national emergencies, and then usually it's the National Guard.
That's right.
And so why would the military be operating domestically? Well, under this body of law that we call either the UCMJ or the military law or the martial law area, there's many facets that can happen. So one of the hypotheses is we've already been under a type of martial law. That's why the military is operating at an elevated level. And Mike and I say, well, we still went shopping. We've went, taking the kids bowling, and we went, doing here, and we've lived lives. I've still functioned like nothing is happening, and so far my rights haven't been trampled upon by anything, and I've lived just fine, not even knowing what's happening of the martial law that we all are afraid of.
That's what I was just saying earlier. It's like since 2001. Now, I think it's probably even been a little bit more serious since December 21st of 17 under this national emergency.
Yes.
Now, with 2001, that was a huge leap, a huge step into stripping away our sovereignty. They had it to where if you were deemed a terrorist, they can just trample all over your due process and not have to, they can actually put you to death and all that before anyone would even know where you were. And
Yep.
So that was a fraction of it. And then I believe, if they were going to be doing anything bad, we've already been operating, and it's been pretty free. I think each and every person here watching can agree they haven't really felt any kind of roadblocks and military tanks and turn around, you can't be out of your home, and the scary visuals we all typically have because of the movies that told you. I'm not promoting. I'm not a spokesperson for martial law by any means. We're just saying this plan has laid it out to where this has to happen a short amount. Now, we've already been in this state of emergency, national state. It's not a state of emergency. It's a national emergency. So you take a word state out, which is, we've all heard state of emergency has been declared. It's a national emergency where it's almost like a epidemic. It's the war on drugs was declared. The war on, there's literally
the war on terror.
Yeah, Trump started a war on human trafficking violations, basically. And we've already had a lot of people partaking in this. It seems like around the world, around the globe, elites. And it was one thing. It was like, there's not a lot of laws on it. So I kind of dabble in buying and trading humans or something, and it's pretty sick. any president could have done this executive order at any time with no real meaning behind it to have to explain. Like, we all want an answer. Why are you doing this? Well, I just thought that it's time to clean up the human rights abuses around the world.
It was the right thing to do.
Nobody's thought of this. All these past administrations working hand in hand with the Assad and not, wanting to clean up them. We know that I've been there. I've been there the 20 times at least. And it's like, what are we doing? These people are abusing human rights more than anybody else in the world. But it's like, well, we do a lot of business with them. And
yes, they have trillions upon trillions of dollars. And it's like they'll give an artificial robot.
Most,
yeah. Well,
right
come on
there.
Now.
I think I just posted
right there. Yep. What is it? What do we get out of post? There you go. Exactly. I mean, they'll give citizenship to an AI robot, but not to a woman, or women can't drive, or all this other crazy thing. I mean, just Sharia law, but they'll give a citizenship to a robot. I mean, and yet these people, there's not just one sheik. There's like hundreds of sheiks and kings. Yeah, there's the House of Saud. That's like the main. That's like in the mafia. That's like the capo. He's the main boss family. So it's like, I mean, this is what. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's stupid crazy.
All right,
Kevin,
let's take a little
285
5-minute break. We're just gonna take a 5-minute, get something to drink, use a restroom. We're about an hour in. We're gonna come back. We'll go for another when we get back. Another 15. Do some one-on-one straight up answers. We'll read a question or something. Read you guys. Do some shout outs. Stick with us.
Also, before Mike and I go to break, I was also going to give about the call-in idea. Mike and I are still garage talking and bouncing this idea about possibly doing a show to have you guys. We pick one of you guys randomly, or we'll figure out something, email, and have you guys call in and actually have something on the show. Mike's talked about it before, so
would you guys like that? Sit here and brainstorm. When we come back, we'll talk a little more.
Yeah, let us know more about it.
A show where you call in. I think I said this earlier, but you call in.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Or did we get any responses? I don't even know if I was busy.
It was kind of it. We there was a lot. There was a new Q post right after that, so we went. Of course, we were like, we're going in this way.
Would you guys partake in that, or would you think, and again, like right now, me and Ben are on the screen. If we had somebody come in, anyone can do this. The way we got it set up is, we would give you a private
if you have a cell phone,
code.
It would work. Yep.
Yeah, if you have a smartphone, it would work, and it would bring you into a little box down here, and you can actually look at your phone, and you'll be able to see on your phone, like us, I think, right? Is that how it works?
Audio only.
Our screen.
Yeah.
And you'll
see all this.
If you just talk on like speakerphone or put your head up to it, I think you just want to talk. That way you can see what's going on your phone, and it'll come across. People
give a shout out. Yes, so you could have questions for us. Obviously,
there you look. See Craig S. Dial for dollars.
Dial for dollars.
Yeah, we didn't know how we were going to do it.
And it depends on your age. Yeah, we're old school. I mean, we remember Jerry's Kids. You remember them dial-a-thons. We're on the phone, standing by for you to call.
Call now. Folks, put your hand on the screen. Not joking.
Do you feel me? So no, because of that, we're talking to you guys right now through a live chat, right? You guys are you're typing in, and we're trying to answer as much as we can. But like I said, this show is for you guys, so that's a nice little red pill. And so I mean, if you guys, we'd like to make it more interactive. You guys like to be a part of the show. I'm sure a lot of you guys have very long questions and things of this nature. So, I mean, if it would be just your voices. We're talking like we're huge Bill Cooper fans, and he did Hour of the Times, and so it's like he had callers call in and ask him questions about what do you think about this, and hey, what's happening
the title,
here?
The Patriot Hour of the Time. Tonight, the Patriot Hour of the Time.
There you go. Yep. A little bit of red pill
A
and
little bit of red pilling. Nothing wrong with a little bit of red pill. Cherry jelly bean. It's a TikToker. It's a TikToker.
Oh, Terry Klein, another one bites the dust. Yes, sir.
Another
So
one
yeah,
bites
Mike
the
and I.
dust.
So Mike and I are gonna take a little 5-minute break and queue. Talk amongst yourselves about that for sure. We're gonna do a little red pilling ourselves in the garage talking, and
Ooh,
no,
get your red pill.
definitely thinking about this whole calling thing.
Think about it. Calling in, having a good time. We'll do it like, Okay.
Yeah.
Give us 5-6 minutes. We'll be back. We'll let me get something on here. Cool. What do you guys? Trump.
Give him something awesome. Give him something awesome to do. Give him some wig splitting truth there, Mike.
Trump planning mass arrest. I like the military thinks it's not. I don't know what this one is. All right. I'll just give him this for the time being. All right. Look who's back. Back again.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit of technically. We're trying to do a little bit of work. Hey, we're getting better at this, you guys, and we're trying to figure out, the live feed action. This is pretty crazy. It's not our internet. Our internet's pretty strong in both our studios, so a lot of time it's the big YouTube. Sometimes we're trying to do our best to work around their algorithms and keep these live shows coming to you guys. So we're doing our best and back again. So yeah. So what are you seeing over there, Mike? When we were talking about a little bit of garage talk here earlier in the break, just crazy what's happening with Kavanaugh being selected. Well, I should say nominated. He is our Supreme Court justice. What's kind of the next step do you think is going to be happening? Because we were talking about a little bit about the martial law aspect of not being crazy, but already, lightly being implemented in the United States.
Look who's back. Back again. Look who's back. Mike and Ben.
Nice.
Nice. Real nice. You guys are doing great.
Nice.
You're my fave. Hi, Tracy. Tracy Poland. Hello, Amy.
Nice.
Hello,
Yes,
Tracy.
thank you, Miss Amy, for our moderator.
Amy,
Awesome.
Tracy, Amy. Brown Eyes Rule. I always share this channel. Thank you, Brown Eyes Rule.
Yeah, definitely. We want to get the truth out to as many people as possible, and it's because of you guys spreading the truth. We talked about the 10% in the last segment of the population, and one of you guys, I think, pulled up 52 to 58 million Qers, I guess, if you will, or Q truthers, people who are awoke, according to the NSA. One of you guys out there.
And that's probably internet wide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll be here creating content, spreading truth, giving you guys videos until we can no longer. We put out a video and it gets 0 views, and I put out another video and it gets 0 views. I might think about reevaluating what I'm doing, but
Mike and I will. Yeah. Well, and the thing is this is something, Mike, we talked about. We've been doing this garage talking, if you will, for years. And, Mike and I are fully aware of all this stuff. We could talk about this for hours and hours and hours, and we do at times. But, this platform is because of you guys. We want to get this information that we've gathered. And, of course, that's Q's coming on, because this whole movement is just, it's mind-blowing. And the fact that all of us are coming along with it, it's all the things that we've researched over the years with the movie industry, the music industry, the Luciferianism, and all this stuff, all these crazy conspiracy roads for years and years and years is now all coming together to a head at this point in time.
Yeah.
How amazing and crazy is that? So, of course, we want to get it out to as many people as possible.
All right. Let's take some
really
comments
see.
here. Danielle Yelly.
Yeah.
All right. Had my kids and got Publix buttered cake. So I was happy. Ooh,
There you
Publix.
go.
Ain't that a store? You're down in Florida. Publix. I heard they
Publix,
offer
hey,
really
I don't
good
know.
benefits for their employees. Publix. I think I had a cousin that worked there for a little bit in Florida at a Publix.
Like some good old breads.
I had success red pilling a complete lefty. Canadian gangster. I would like to hear more about that.
It's that's hard, man. It's hard. You can't just be like slap him in the face with truth. You got to ease him into it.
Happy birthday to you. All right. Yeah, we knew it was Danielle Yelly's birthday the other day.
There you go. Yep. Happy
birthday. We appreciate you in so many ways. being a moderator. When you are here, so we got the 3 moderators right there in front of us: Danielle Yelly,
Yeah,
Amy,
boom.
and BBD61. You guys all do great work, and we appreciate it.
36K20 was born on today, so happy birthday, 36K20. I know, probably a lot of birthdays out there, you know, you guys. So, and to all y'all who had a birthday today, happy birthday.
He just says I was born on my birthday. So yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
of course. I believe you. Yeah, I was as well.
Guys,
Oh yeah.
is the arrest going to come before election? I hope so. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
We just can't tell you guys. No, we don't have that information.
Yeah, we don't, and that's something that would be just us are giving you our opinion. Would we like to see arrests happen before the election?
Yeah.
Of course we would. We don't know if it's a part of the ultimate plan. We don't know if there needs to be something happening with these crazy players, these bad actors, these evil actors, while the elections are being unhampered and going with smoothly until these Hooper. Yeah, hey, no, it's Hooper time.
Okay, so yes, I believe the time for everything to really teeter-totter was just with Kavanaugh, and we're waiting on Huber, though. Something got put over to Huber to get sped up. Was it Huber or Horowitz, the IG? So that was the D class. So I think we got to get this D class. That's going to naturally expose Rod Rosenstein's conflict of interest.
Big time.
Or he'll step down himself or be questioned by so many people. Like, well, this seems really odd that you're still in the position you are, but yet this involves you and you make decisions over it. Oh, not at any time would I have ever done that. I mean, here again, we'll have to listen to somebody kind of like Peter Strzok acting like, well, no time did my bias ever show itself in its true colors at work. I kept my bias in my underwear. You know, I mean, I don't...
Well, remember how it is extremely hard to fire a federal employee. Remember, went over this before. There is a lot of
homesteading minimalist. Court-martial EO not in effect till January 2019, though. Well, that was the upgrades.
Yes. Okay, we went over that as well.
You said Rod Rosenstein is gone.
No, yes, there are. If you read the document, there's dates on whatever happens after this date. This is what happens. This was what law binds that. If it happens before this date, refer back to UCMJ. So we went over that on the dates before that, back and forth. It's pretty crazy. Again, quite in the plan, so definitely trust that one.
Yeah. So Rod Rosenstein was on Air Force One today, so he was gone from whatever state he was at because he got on an airplane and he was gone. It's kind of like when you take a loved one to the airport and you're like, they're gone.
Here, he's there.
They're gone. So do you now understand, Amy, moderators? We're just playing around a little bit. No, when I jumped into the board, somebody had put Rod Rosenstein gone, and then I put in the brackets in the kill box Rod Rosenstein gone, and I was trying to see what they were saying, but and then I guess I never clarified, and we just had our first little bit of misinformation get out. We're not trying to spread any lies here, folks. That was
oh, of course not, of course not. I will bring up Robert Melendez says, hey, that MS-13 gang and Antifa, Derek, going to get together and start some heavy stuff. What's your thought on that? So the MS-13 gang and Antifa kind of joining forces before the midterms. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, we know that, you know, they've used MS-13 before. Trump has told us about us on many occasions about how the cabal has used, you know, that's why they don't want borders. They don't want the wall, so they can have these people come in and out and do these things. And so I wouldn't doubt it. I would not be surprised one bit if they had lots of collusion with multiple evil people.
All right, so he got on the plane with Trump, but where did he get off? Maybe he went skydiving without a parachute.
Well, who knows? Well, I mean, hey, the bottom line is if somebody resigns from their position, they open themselves up to everything. I mean, everything. There's no statutes. There's no convening boards for trying to fire somebody from a federal job. So, it could be. Is he being flipped? Hey, is he now the new actor in the movie we're seeing playing out before us? Did he do what the old no-namer took the deal? You can either die or you can play a part and go away forever. We don't know. This is kind of all hypothetical, but we definitely know it will be coming out very soon. And I think the IG report will definitely cover what's going on and totally expose him for his bias and his positions, conflict of interest, not saying anything, just like with Google, not reporting being ahead of this break of security. Oh, we didn't want to say anything because it'd look bad. Well, of course it would look bad. Rosenstein, you can't have a conflict of interest and not tell anybody. That's your job, to be unbiased.
All right, I'm just making sure. There we are. We're getting the feed.
Angela
Yes.
Snowden said he got off the plane in Florida smiling, wrapping up that little bad actor and
What
moving
was
on
that
to
on the
next
news,
one.
Angela Snowden? Any relation to Edward? Talk to us. Rod Rosenstein gone. Future proves past. Alan Young. Explain a little more, bud, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Thanks. Robert, what's up, buddy?
What
Robert
up?
Melendez.
I believe he's out. Is our Patriot out from Arizona?
Yes, he checks in often. I like that. Yes,
Yeah,
it was
he's
on
cool.
PBS. How's the weather where everyone's at? Where are we at with everybody? Weather, we're moving into... Well,
The fall time.
yeah, it's fall. Just curious if anyone's getting any of that snow yet. Is there a new queue?
Yeah, there's a new queue. It just says Sally Yates in the kill box.
Little bit of
okay.
Sally Yates.
Okay, my 2250. And a little bit of Sally
She's in the kill box.
in the kill box.
Why wouldn't she be?
Sally Yates.
Yeah, that's a bomb leftover, holdover. She's not around anymore, but had a couple of pics of her in my video last night. Sally sold seashells.
By the seashore, Sally sold her soul by the seashore to the
Sally
evil
Yates
people.
sold her soul not too long ago.
Oh, well, of course, Loretta Lynch is involved in here.
A little bit of Sally. Yeah. They've done some pretty bad things.
Well, September 11th, when Q was telling us panic in D.C., King and Spalding hired last week to represent Sally Yates. And then, let's see here, where else did Q tell us about Sally Yates?
Right here. They're all getting ready to testify, folks. I guess Obama just got he's got 9 lawyers hired now. Comey's refusing to come in and testify. House Republicans have reportedly called on James Comey, Loretta Lynch, and Sally Yates to testify.
Mm-hmm.
And this is 12 days, 4 days. Let's see here.
But now, the September 7th, Q told us who signed page 308, 309, blah, blah, blah. And it says Andrew McCabe, Rob Rosenstein, Dana Bonetti, and James Comey, and Sally Yates knowingly used false intelligence. Think HRC, and that would be post 2106. Talks about Sally Yates. And we'll go to one more. This is September 3rd, post 2069. Telling us.
I just pulled up Yates.
Yates.
Right here,
So, yes.
September 11th, we had Panic in D.C., Bruce Orr, an effort to save Nellie Orr. Is that the one you just read?
Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of them, yeah. So it's like, this isn't her name's been splashed around Q a few times. So
You can see the earliest ones.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not seeing much down yonder.
Well, you could probably see that she's going to be going down real soon. I see she's in the kill box. So that can only tell you kind of one thing. There's no
Saint Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast down to hell Satan and all his evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. Amen, brother.
Q.
So
Just
this
some
is
old
way
ones,
back in
guys.
November 5th.
Yes.
Social media platforms, top 10 shareholders of Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. Why is Saudi Arabia relevant? Mainstream media controlling stakes in NBC and MSNBC, ABC, CBS, CNN. What is Operation Mockingbird?
Who is Anderson Cooper? What is Anderson Cooper's background? Why is this relevant?
Tried telling us way back when.
Mm-hmm.
U.S. military equals savior of mankind. We will never forget Fantasyland. God save us all.
Remember Alice in Wonderland? We are Alice, and the Q is showing us a Wonderland type thing, if you will.
Crumb dump incoming fast.
Archive immediately. Upload graphic.
Crumb dumpy.
Crumb dumpage.
I'll be right back. I go take a crumb dump.
Uh-oh.
That's funny that they would call
Hot
it that.
and foggy.
Hot and foggy. Pinching a loaf. That was in Shawshank. That was actually a pretty good movie back in the day.
Bunch of crumb munchers.
I'm gonna
That's
say
funny.
that.
David Woodruff, bunch of crumb munchers.
You crumb
Funny.
munchers.
Oh, yeah. You. Yeah, no, Tommy Trask, if FISA approved Trump collusion, why do the Dems want to remain it sealed so bad? So much pain. Yes, I agree with you, Tommy Trask. I mean, it is. They have nothing. They're yelling on nothing. And when this comes out, it's going to expose them on them having nothing and really actually having a bunch of bad against them. David McCater from Scotland. Good to see you, brother. Good to have you on. Another Patriot from across the pond. We love you guys over there. So...
That's awesome. Baker saying?
Yeah, no, it's Baker saying exactly, Tommy. No, it's for sure. Yes, Mr. David McCander, it's for sure. The fact that you guys are out here and we're doing this, it's awesome to figure all this kind of stuff out and go back to some of these earlier posts. I mean, this was posts like what, 113, 100, 200. That was a long time ago compared. And really, if you step and think about it, it's only just a handful of months ago.
Yeah.
Not quite a year.
Wow.
Alan Young, Q has told us many times, Rod Rosenstein in the kill box, gone soon from England. Ah, yes, another English patriot. You guys are awesome, awesome. Angela Snowden, Anderson Cooper, father was Hugh Hefner, was a video today, and we know also good sight follows cues. Anderson Cooper, father was Hugh Hefner. Interesting. I don't know
Say
that.
that again. Say it again.
Okay, so Angela Snowden said Anderson Cooper, father was Hugh Hefner. ... was on video today, and we know also good sight follows Q. ... I don't know about that. Anderson Cooper, we know his mom is a Vanderbilt. We kind of went over the
But
whole.
when he adopted or no, is he an actual? His mom is that lady?
I think his mom did marry that such and Mr. Cooper. That's where he got his birth name. His mother's maiden name is Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we did a whole thing on Gloria Vanderbilt and
the Vanderbilt,
Cooper, a two video series, guys. So we dove
pretty
into that.
intense.
I never heard the Hefner. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me if it was, but I don't know what it has to do with anything more. I mean,
we know Hugh Hefner was a CIA operative and was part of that whole Playboy, was a part of disinformation, desensitizing, sex and the generation and introducing nefarious ideas into the young. So we know that, but the pool. Amy, you're right. Yeah. It was a Vanderbilt estate, drained. Looked like it was a pool from like the early 1920s, 30s that had been drained, but very, very clean, and the whole entire place was not from water.
Stain. Yeah, it could have been rusty water. All right, so we got April. What is that? Oh, I can't see that date. September 7th of 2018.
Okay,
so, FISA
could
signatures. Sally Yates, Comey Yates. So there's that whole FISA. So with all the release of this FISA stuff, these people are done. Comey Yates, DOJ, Comey Yates, DOJ, Comey Dana, Boente, DOJ, McCabe, Rosenstein. What is the SSA? What is that?
Secret Service Agency.
No, because they're the USSS.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, Angela Stone said, yeah, he's a bastard. Hugh is his true daddy. Look up the video on, I think it's called And We Know. Also part of the pedophilia, etc.
If we look into it, where's it going to lead us? Just that Hugh Hefner was a sick man?
We definitely understand that. We agree. And you know what? If that's the case, if it's like he's from some weird offering sexual thingy, whatever.
There's a lot of eddies, folks.
Crazy. A lot of eddies.
We're swimming down the river here of truth, and we just can't go down every eddy. People get caught in these eddies, and they'll spin in them. Mm-hmm. Me and Ben have had these conversations. We all have our passion, and not passion, but areas we like to research, and we've gone over that. We've done it, and you just cannot get caught up on every single eddy. And
he would be probably
your life's work research is on Hugh Hefner, and did he give father to Anderson Cooper? Possibly. Don't spend a lot of time digging into that. It's not gonna
probably on the bigger note, be careful listening to Anderson Cooper.
Yeah. Take a lot of his advice.
Yeah, be aware. And that's what we love about you guys is you guys are woke like that. You're aware of just, more than just what you're told. So it's awesome. I mean, there's so much out there that Mike and I we can't go over
Angela
everything.
Snowden, I agree. It's just another part of the whole puzzle. Exactly. And when this is
Yes,
all said and
exactly.
done, a lot of us will find out we weren't right on every aspect. We'll find out like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this
It was
person
that
did
angle.
that, or I had crimes mixed up at the end of this. I thought that this person was doing all the child trafficking, but it was this person, and they okay. So we'll get all those finite details, is what I like to call them. Me and Ben, I was telling them finite details. We don't know them all, and there's no way it's set up. These people have set it up in such a puzzle manner on purpose to make it very hard. Plausible deniability. They're all, half of them are lawyers. They know the rules. They know
Yes.
the legal side of something, and they know the illegal side of it. So they walk that fine line. And but no, do your research. If that's what gets you, this is collectively. You brought it up, and I would say report on it. Finish up that. Look into that little angle. Get that fact, bring it back to us in any of these comments, and we'd love to know that.
Yeah,
I agree.
no,
There you go.
exactly.
Hefner was a CIA handler. I wouldn't put that past.
Yeah, we've told them before. Exactly. We know about the
how about-
CIA, and there's been.
How
Well,
about,
it was the WikiLeaks that went over the CIA and the Hugh Hefner about him.
what
not only-
was Timothy McVeigh? Was he a sheep dipped soldier? Do we know what that is? Did he never
Yeah,
truly
you guys
get
know
out?
what that is?
Did he go to work for our government? The same guy that was in charge of Ruby Ridge, Waco, into the McVeigh Oklahoma City bombing. Same head of the FBI guy back then, and involved in all
yeah.
these. So I
Very
would
interesting.
suggest
What a
looking into those.
coincidence. Mm-hmm.
Tim McVeigh thought he was doing the right thing. Thought he was, told exactly what to do. You'll be doing work for inside the U.S. and outside. That's black ops, folks. I mean, he had his jail bunkie convinced that he wouldn't be dying, and maybe he's not, but I would imagine that's maybe what they told him. But he's like, no, at the last minute, they're going to switch out the chemicals in that lethal shot, and I will look like I'm dead, but I'm not. And then they'll swoop me out of here, take me back to a place, and pin my medals on my chest for doing
I'm going
exactly what they
Panama.
told me.
Yeah, I'm gonna retire in Panama. You guys got to understand that these people are sick, and they'll use any means. Somebody posted, MK Ultra. Yeah, they'll do Monarch programming, MK Ultra. Mike and I went over that as well, very extensively. I mean, they'll use every asset, and whatever it takes to get you guys on the road to truth. I mean, if it's coming through the music scene and seeing the satanic stuff in there, or finding out Hugh Hefner was a CIA handler of disinformation, and he fathered many children, and it was under that's your path. Some
I like to
people
say,
take,
if you're new to coming in, study each of these little facets. You don't have to spend 2.5 years in the Bilderberg group area or the Bohemian Grove. Some of these areas of research will make you sick. So it's good to know. And once you get the whole picture in your head, you'll see that the Q thing. And if you're just new to being woke, folks, this is like everything we've always researched is way back in time, telling you about how it started and how these people today still operate under that manner. But the Q information is like the tip of the spear.
Yes.
So all of our years and years, 20 plus years of research has led to this point where I'm at. And I guess I forget that, some of you out there are at different levels for sure coming in. So you're going to want to do these same things that basically we had to do to get to where we are to, ton of this information is just in our head. Once you hear it, once you read it, once you see it, you never forget it. some of the
Can't
finite
unlearn it.
details can drip away from you, because who wants to really, I mean, it's just it's like anything else. It's like a good movie. You remember the plot line of it, you remember the meat, but some of the one-liners you might not remember.
Well, you know, and Mike and I talk about this as well. I mean, think about how many times you've had an epiphany in your life. You're doing something, you think about something, like boom, it hits you, like, oh my gosh. And it's almost like life-shattering, life-altering epiphany. Well, what if you had that on a daily basis multiple times? That's the kind of research that Mike and I are doing on a daily basis, of like literally mind-shattering stuff, putting stuff together, and it's all public domain stuff. And we talk about, that's our passion, and we have the ability through our schooling and our past life experience, you know, whatever, we can research to the nth degree a lot of this stuff. And some of it we research and we won't ever really put it up. Excuse me. We won't ever really put it up because the fact that it's another eddy. And that's something that we've talked about many times, is we're trying to get you the main river of truth, and it's going to push you a very good trajectory towards the end goal. And there's this little side things that are always on the side. Think and ask yourself, what's the end game with all this kind of stuff, and it'll point you back to the mainstream of truth where we're hitting at you. So I mean, let's just definitely keep that in mind. You know, definitely Mike and I, we have our truth heroes, if you will. Bill Cooper, Fritz Springmeier, and then there's a few more, but those are just a couple just come to mind. And so, were they right on 100% of what they were saying? No. But what the important part was is they pushed whoever they talked to do their own research, connect their own dots, and said, "This is how far I've gotten. You keep carrying the torch, if you will. Keep carrying that truth out, and this is where I'm at. So how far can you take it?" And that's what we're going with you guys and having us out here.
Nothing they show you on TV is fake Masonic lies, like the moon landing. Hey, watch the Godfather movie, and put every actor as your government.
Here's something else. Karen Bradley put, follow suicides and their family or friends needing a blood sacrifice. Heath Ledger, Owen's twins sacrifice. Kate Spade, her husband's sacrifice. Anthony Bourdain, his girlfriend's sacrifice. Very true, Karen. These are the evil people that we're talking about, who will literally sell their loved ones to the evil one for fame and fortune and money, and for the destruction of America. And these are the people that we're talking about. And they go, they're CEOs, they're famous people, they're politicians. They're not, these indictments don't just go over those in DC. They bleed over to Hollywood and you know, Nashville and all over.
Yeah, it's like not my favorite. See, don't let these little agendas hold you up as well, other than eddies that keep you busy and preoccupied in just one realm. You got to do all the research. You can't throw out this whole plan. That's what's happened with some of the people that were following Q that we know of, that maybe other channels you guys watch. Like, for example, when Q exposed AJ Jones, you know, from a certain Wars channel.
Yes,
that threw a few people off. People are like, "Oh, I'm done." Nope, I came up on Alex Jones. My whole channel's based kind of on Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones. I'm all about the Q and the truth. But once he touched base on Alex, now I'm done. I have to turn my back and support this guy over here instead of this whole thing. That's,
you know, I like this one actor. All of his movies touched me personally. Every time that this actor did a line or two, I always, my favorite. Every movie I have to watch. Then you find out, yeah, he's eating baby salads. Yeah, I mean, it's like that. It's like you can't be fooled on the performance that an individual gives across the TV, you know, like the movie screen, and this is where the bad actors and the evils are coming from. And so I think this is definitely why it's been almost like crazy to see the purging of the draining of the swamp and done in under 2 years, and not so much like done in under 2 years, but I mean the amount of momentum. And then on top of all of that, our GDP is going crazy through the roof. You know.
Yeah. Like that one guy we were reading. I wash my hair with baby blood or baby pee or whatever it was.
So, oh my gosh, these guys are so, because it's like, yeah, it's evil, folks. It isn't just evil like you're speeding to work because you're late and you're breaking the law. Evil, we're talking like biblical evil stuff, people. Okay, and we went extensively through that in past episodes. So this is the type of evil we're fighting. I mean, we know we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but them principalities of wickedness in high places, and I mean, this is evil stuff.
And is, like we said it before, as good of a job as they have done separating church and state and getting a lot of the 99 percenters with their propaganda media, with their social things. I mean, they've separated God out of a lot of people's lives. And so for some people, they don't believe it. That's a conditioning. But these people do. So like we said before, it doesn't matter where in your own research, you might get to spots where it starts getting biblical or talking about God or Satan. And you're like, oh, I'm done. I don't believe in that stuff. So, but you might be, of one of a few that don't. There's a lot of other people that do, and it might, it's the truth, or that's where everything seems to lead. So you can shut down your research, but you're just only cutting yourself short of getting true answers, because in all of my research on the dark side of life, these people somehow, some way, seem the common bond seems to be Luciferian ideologies and satanic rituals, and it gets dark on their side, folks. And you can think that's real hokey pokey and weird, but they're doing it, and they are doing it since the early times of antiquity. This is passed down knowledge, secret books, mystery religions,
ancient schools of religion, and
these mystery
people,
schools. If
this weirds you out, that's understandable. But these people are controlling our country, and these people are passing laws that hinder you and I. Think about it. If the Constitution is just a piece of paper that outlines our God-given rights, they're inalienable. That means no human, no man can take them away from you because they're given to you by God. What do you think the devil wants to do?
Yeah,
take these rights away from you, take this freedom away from you. And so it's like, when we talk about evil, it's very extensive.
Yeah, you got these people that have sacred books stemming from all the way back in time forward, I guess. The average person that thinks they got it all wrapped up, and we're not knocking on anybody. Well, let's just say, for example, there's a guy, he works at 7-Eleven, and he does a lot of working at 7-Eleven, and in his free time, he likes to watch YouTube and read some books. I don't know. And you can come to your own conclusions in life, and most likely you do. And then when you hear things that go against what you have, you're like, oh, they're wrong, I'm right. Yeah, I mean, some people have, like we said, if you're top secret clearance, you got things you can see that others can't. Some of these people that are connected and part of the 1%, they're not dumb. They're confused, or they're misled, or they're duped more than most of us, but they're not dumb, and they have unlimited funds, unlimited access to things. They're just lucky to be born. I don't know about lucky, but with their bloodlines, or these people think because of their bloodlines they can trample on the rest of us with no real worries about it. That's one of the big things we've read into if you do a lot of the research.
Yeah, we're not just a bunch of feeding sheep. The public, the masses aren't just, Obama made a speech not too long ago, a few months back, and basically told that the people are too ignorant to control their own rights, and their freedom needed to be guided by the elect, the intellect. I think he said the elect, or the ruling class. I think how he put it, it was very, very, very scary, because when you always have people wanting to control you and take away the very thing that makes you, the way you think, the way you interpret information, the way you speak, when that starts being hampered on, like the freedom of speech and the press, then what's next?
That's right.
You know, where you sleep at, what you eat. I mean, it gets crazy, folks, and you may not believe it, but the people who control and run this earth do. So if just take that one on, you know, that's a little red pill for you.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna give it here another minute or two. I'll read one more question or comment. I'm gonna give a shout out. I'll say Karen Hack, Light in the Dark, Joe Varg, Shocker 2357, Angela Snowden, Chris Fox News.
Chris Fox said, how about a Princess Diana topic on an up-and-coming program?
Nice.
Princess Diana, yeah, we definitely know that her accident was highly mysterious, and, you know, we all know that she shouldn't have gone out that way, but neither should JFK, but we know how he went out as well. And Oswald didn't take him out, you know.
All right, real quick. All right, there's nothing new on the Q drops. We got the Sally Yates 2375. I'm still searching for Yates. All right, so nothing new on that. We'll check in on that tomorrow for sure. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Let me see here.
Everything else.
P comes after Q. So,
Nice.
What's up with Sally Yates? She's done. She's gone. Her name's on the signatures. We're gonna find Rod Rosenstein's conflict of interest, why he should have recused himself over a year ago. Some of these things he would have known about. He's known about this whole time. Just he knew that nobody else knew. So now that everyone's gonna know, he's gonna have to answer for that. Trump's not gonna have to fire him. He's gonna be ousted just by the sheer media and people,
Evidence, and yes.
Everybody up there. Like, what the heck, bud? Well, I didn't know any of you would ever know. I mean, I don't know what his answer is. So, all right.
What can it be?
Mercy for all and justice.
I agree.
How about FEMA phone ringing? Where we go one, we go all. Love your enemy. Amen. Prayers for all. Yeah, send out some prayers to everyone. Keep all of our military during these next several weeks, month, safe.
Yeah, we got a lot of operators out in the field.
Yes,
doing many
a lot of people getting ready,
many
pre-deployed, forward deployed. Here real soon, folks. If any of you know any NG members, National Guard, maybe we can
see if they've been activated in main metropolitan cities.
See if they're activated end of this month, any major U.S. city. And they don't know why.
Any National Guard people in the chat right now, let us know if you're being activated, or if you know anybody in your family right now if they've been activated by the end of this month. And it'd probably be like in major cities, L.A., Detroit, Chicago, New York, that kind of stuff.
I wish I came on orders. See something, say something. Q drops. I noticed that the ATMs have been down. Yeah, no, check out any National Guardsmen. Find out. It just, you don't have to be just, hey, you've been activated. You're getting called up. Yeah, at the end of the month.
Hey,
Where are you
know,
going?
yeah.
I'm going to Chicago out of all places. Really? You know why?
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. No.
We're just curious. We're trying to find out ourselves, folks. All right. That way we can report on it better. We just want to have an idea.
We're kind of giving you guys a little bit of little breadcrumbs in our garage talks. This is the kind of stuff that we're easing out to you guys as we're going over it, instead of just kind of going over just Mike and I and then hitting you with the next show or next episode. We're trying to give you guys a little bit of feedback with these little, Patriot Hour, the Patriot type stuff. Just getting with you guys is awesome.
All right. I'm going to say we'll wrap it up. We're just at the 2-hour mark. By the time we get out of here, it'll be 2 hours. I'm Mike.
I'm Ben. We definitely appreciate you guys with us tonight. A huge God bless.
And we'll see you here at the next Patriot Hour update video. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you worldwide. Where we go one, we go all.
We're all.